Thoughts from a boss, baby. We back, man. Just like I told y'all, we gonna do this Willie Lynch letter. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all real quick, man. Look, I had to put this back on so I can keep my word with y'all, because I said I was in the last video, I was gonna come back and redo the Willie Lynch and stop where I stopped and picked up where I've left off, right? But that wasn't all that easy, man. Life and duty called all day. You know what I'm saying? I've been interrupted about 3 or 4 times trying to make this video. Man, straight up, you know? And I ain't really worried about it. I honestly had a good day today. It's honestly been a good day today. Y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit the subscribe button if y'all ain't hit it already yet. But it's been a good day, man. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the Willie Lynch letter. We're gonna break this Willie Lynch letter down into the meanings and things like that. Now, for all of you that don't know, Willie Lynch was a consultant that was hired by the slave masters of America in the early 1700s to come help with the problem of controlling the slaves. They wasn't getting the best that they could out of their slaves. They figured that they could get more. They've heard that people are getting more other places. And so they called someone to come in and teach them and show them the ways. You know, now as we know in this game that we play, because I'm cut from a different cloth that some people are cut from, you know, you gotta pay for that information. The game is to be sold, not told. And so thus they got Willie Lynch to come through. These are not my words, but it went something like this. Greetings, gentlemen. I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord, 1712. That's 1712 for all you stupid motherfuckers. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve your problems with the slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest, still the oldest, methods of control of slaves. Now look, in ancient Rome, they would envy us if my program was implemented. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious king whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, kind of crucified people like they did Jesus. Jesus wasn't the only one. Rome did that as a message upon entering the temple that you can and will be crucified for false actions. Now, while Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasion. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals get killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are? I do not need to elaborate, and I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag. That's what he said. In my bag. That's funny, ain't it? And you know what's really funny about this is a lot of the verbiage and a lot of the talk in the Willie Lynch language is easily translatable to today. So, in my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. A foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. A foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it's gotta be done right. It will control the slaves for at least 3 300 years. That's important. 1712 plus 300 equals 2012. What was happening in 2012 that we were so worried about? The Mayan calendar, right? Maybe not. Maybe it was a Willie Lynch letter that we was really worried about. So the method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. And I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust. I use fear, distrust. I use fear, distrust. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of the list is age. That's only there because it starts with the NATO. The second is color or shade. There's also intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, status on plantations, the attitudes of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on the hill, in the east, on the west coast, north, south, have fine hair, have bad hair, if a nigga's tall, if a nigga's short, any difference that you can think of, get them lists of differences. And now I'll give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust. Run that back. Let me assure that and pound that into your head again. Distrust is stronger than trust. These are not my words. These are not my words. This is not the words of King Love. See, I am merely reading the words of Willie Lynch, a plantation consultant to help master the slave trade in America. I am simply reading his words. I am not promoting them. I am simply giving them for knowledgeable reasons. Hopefully y'all can hear this and understand what's going on in 1712, 300 years ago, because it should only have lasted 300. It shouldn't have worked at all, but since it did, it should only have lasted the 300 years. Distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. Distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling. After receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and become self-refueling, and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. And this is why I have to speak now, because I'll be damned if we get to that thousands. Think about that plan for a second. Let's stop and talk for a second. Thoughts from a boss. Think about that. 1712. 300 years to 2012. And now, since 2012, obviously, the plan is still working. We've gone a little over the 300 years. So my thing is, by us going over the 300 years, and he's saying self-refueling, self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Thousands. See, now when you talk thousands, you really thinking. 1492, America's not even 1,000 years old. And we're already thinking controlling a set of people's minds for thousands of years. Now, don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male versus the old black male. And you must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have white servants and overseers. Distrust all blacks, but it's necessary. It is necessary. It is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. Yeah, it is necessary that they trust and depend on us. Now, gentlemen, these kids are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. Never miss an opportunity. I repeat, never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves will be perpetually distrustful. Now, cardinal principles for making a Negro. For fear that our future generations may not understand the principles of breaking both the beast together, the nigger and the horse, we understand that the short-range planning economics results in periodic economic chaos. I repeat, we understand that the short-range planning of economics results in periodic economic chaos. The short-term, stimulus checks, real quick. The short-term planning for economic results in periodic economic chaos. That's why the gas prices are rising. Chaos. So that to avoid turmoil in the economy, it requires us to have breadth and depth in long-range comprehensive planning, articulating both skill-sharp perceptions. We lay down the following principles for long-range comprehensive economic planning. Both horse and nigger are no good to the economy in the wild or natural state. Yeah. Let's break that down again. It requires us to have breadth and depth in long-range comprehensive planning, articulating both skill and sharp perceptions. We lay down the following principles for long-range comprehensive economic planning. Both horse and nigger, no good to the economy in the wild or natural state. Both must be broken and tied together for orderly production. For orderly future, special and particular attention must be paid to the female and the youngest offspring. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and a division of labor. Different types of labor. Y'all gotta follow this. I'm gonna keep going because this can get long if I stop and keep talking and breaking it down. I'm gonna read it. Now, particular attention must be paid to the female and the youngest offspring. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and a division of labor. Both must be taught to respond to a peculiar new language. Psychological and physical instruction of containment must be created for both. We hold the 6 cardinal principles as truth to be self-evident, based upon following the discourse concerning the economics of breaking and tying the horse and nigger together, all inclusive of the 6 principles laid down above. No, neither principle alone will suffice for good economics. All principles must be employed for orderly good of the nation. It's like the laws of attraction that everyone like, not just, the laws of attraction is one particular law. There's more laws that has to be abided by, like the law of listening, the law I'm drawing a blank on the laws right now because I'm in this, but the different laws is 13 of them. You need all 13 of them. Law of attraction is just one, but most people really focus on that because they're trying to attract. But the law of giving, there's a law of giving. You know what I'm saying? You must give to receive type shit. It works together in sequence. So like he's telling them, and he's speaking right. He's telling them good advice. Oh my God. This man's a genius. Neither principle alone will suffice for good economics. All principles must be employed for orderly good of the nation. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild natural nigga is dangerous, even if captured, for they will have the tendency to seek their customary freedom, and in doing so might kill you in your sleep. You cannot rest. They sleep while you are awake, and are awake while you are asleep. They are dangerous near the family house, and it requires too much labor to watch them away from the house. Above all, you cannot get them to work in this natural state. Hence, both the horse and the nigga must be broken. That is, breaking them from one form of mental life to another. Keep the body, take the mind. I repeat, keep the body, take the mind. It's like they said in prison, you can trap my body, you can't take my mind. Trap my body, can't take my mind. It's still relevant to today. In other words, break the will to resist. Now, the breaking process is the same for both the horse and the nigga, only slightly varying in degree. But as we said before, there is an art in long-range economic planning. As we said before, there is an art in long-range economic planning. It can be beautiful. It's an art to it. You must keep your eye and your thoughts on the female and the offspring. You must keep your eye and your thoughts on the female and the offspring of the horse and the nigga. A brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. Shout out to Kanye. Shout out to Kyrie. A brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking. So, let's talk music. We don't pay much attention to Michael Jackson's generation. When it comes to rap, we don't really pay much to Jay-Z's generation. We really don't give a fuck about no Wu-Tang Clan, no NWA. You know what I'm saying? Even you got, so the argument is, NBA Youngboy is better than Lil Wayne already. Lil Wayne is still out here. But we're not going to pay attention to the generation of original breaking. Nah. We want to concentrate on the future generation. Therefore, if you break the female mother, yeah. We're going to concentrate on the future generation. Because look, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development. By breaking the female mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development for you. And when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver him to you. For her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the breaking process. I repeat, her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. Her normal tendencies will have been lost. For example, take the case of the wild stud horse, a female horse and an already infant horse, and compare the breaking process with the two captured nigga males in their natural state, a pregnant nigga woman with her infant offspring. Take the stud horse, break him for limited containment. Completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in her comfort. Breed the mare and the stud until you have the desired offspring. You got two male niggas is what they saying. The woman is gonna have two baby daddies, and you're gonna see which one's bringing the one that you want. What type of work, labor are you looking for? You know what I'm saying? A smart little nigga that knows how to organize the niggas in the field, or a big, strong shack nigga that can pull horses and oxes all the way from the field to the plantation. You gotta make a choice. Now, breed the mare and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again. Train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand. And she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigga, use the same process, but vary the degree and step up the pressure, so as to do a complete reversal of the mind. Take the meanest and most restless nigga, strip him of his clothes in the Take the meanest and most restless nigga, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggas. They technically stripped Kanye of his clothes. They didn't take him off his body, but they took his clothes. Take the meanest and most restless nigga, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggas, the female and the infant nigga. Tar and feather him. Tie each leg to a different horse faced in opposite directions. Set him afire and beat both horses to pull him apart in front of the remaining niggas. Watch this. See that? Levi's, the jeans. Yes, we wore these on purpose. 2 horses, a pair of pants. They didn't put a body in there, but there's a pair of pants faced in opposite directions. We're not gonna play no games. You understand what I'm saying? We're not gonna play no games. Levi's 2022, the patch, you seen it. You heard the description. Take the meanest and most restless nigga, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggas, the female and the nigga infant. Tar and feather him. Tie each leg to a different horse faced in opposite directions. Set him afire. Beat both horses to pull him apart in front of the remaining niggas. Levi jeans. You see the symbol. We're not gonna play no games. The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining nigga males to the point of death in front of the females and the infants. Don't kill them though. Put the fear of God in them, for he can be useful for future breeding. Now, the breaking process of the African woman. The reason that the breaking process of the African woman is so important is because that's what the focus is. The focus is the African woman. The black woman is the main focus. So it's easy to see how black women have such a sense of entitlement today because the focus is black women from Massa. Massa's a little, more lenient on her because he need her, because she's instrumental in breaking me as an infant, breathing on her breast. So when it comes to the male, we really ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want good looks and smarts, you really ain't fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty tall and I got a nice stature, 6'1", 180. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's like I'm gonna breed and you're gonna see what offsprings that I bring, and from there you're gonna make your choices on what you want to keep doing. But you're really not focused on me. You're focused on the woman. And this is very important because you're getting her out of her natural state. Now, the breaking process of the African woman. Take the female, run a series of tests on her to see if she's willing to submit to your desires willingly. Basically, you just want to see if she like you or not. But she don't. She don't at all. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any sign of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use your bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of bitch out of her. These are not my words. These are the excerpts from Willie Lynch as he was talking to the slave plantation owners of Virginia. And pretty much probably all of America at the time. I could really only imagine someone coming overseas. This is like a big speaker. Somebody probably set up a show to sell tickets and you bought your entry into it and such. And It was probably a real ball occasion. You know what I'm saying? Real grandiose. So now, you want to test her in every way because she's the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any sign of resistance and submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip to extract that last little bitch out of her. Take care not to kill her, for in doing so, you spoil good economics. Now, when in complete submission, she will train her offsprings in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age. Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into this area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in this breaking process of the female nigga. We have reversed the relationship in her natural, uncivilized state. She would have strong dependency on an uncivilized nigga male, and she would have a limited protection tendency towards her independent male offspring and would raise her male offspring to be dependent like her. See, she's not trying to protect her son because the father's there for protection. So her mind and her sense of protection is different with the male there and the male absent. Now, nature had provided for this type of balance. We reverse nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigga apart and bullwhipping the others to the point of death. We reverse nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigga apart and bullwhipping the others to the point of death. All in her presence. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed. What do you think's happened when from 2012 to 2022, the only thing we see of black men on TV is RICO cases? Niggas actually getting shot, killed, their blood in the streets. Plenty people. I don't even want to go over the list of names. We watched a man get choked out for 8 minutes on TV. We are the only people that we're watching on TV. Real people, not acting, get killed. We're the only ones. And then the other part of us, we're gay. You have no regular men like me just walking around, just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy. I don't know why all the fuss about me. But if you ever fuss out me. Yeah. The male image destroyed. The male image destroyed. The ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen, independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles. She will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles for fear of the young man's life. Oh yeah, we getting into this one. She will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. Because she has become physiologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be physiologically independent. Now what have you got? You've got the nigga woman out front and the nigga man behind and scared. Now what do you have? You have the nigga woman out in front and the nigga man behind, scared. standing behind his woman, his mama, his grandmama, his sister, his daughter for protection. Scared. This is perfect. This is a perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. See, master can sleep when that's happening. Yeah. When you got a woman on the plantation that can come through and check any man on the plantation, you know what I'm saying, and tell him to chill and not do this, yeah, you in the right spot as a master. You doing real good. If Big Mama come out and she the one that running, you know what I'm saying, and handling everything, yeah. You in good position on your plantations, you know what I'm saying? Real good position. That is a perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. You can get you some good rest, knowing the money coming. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times, though. Yeah. Before Big Mama was running around telling everybody what to do and poking her chest out, running and hitting niggas and shit like that. Before Big Mama was doing all that, you couldn't get no sleep. You know what I'm saying? Now that Big Mama doing all that, yeah, it's all good. Now we can sleep soundly. For out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. See, you thought it was the house nigga. You know what I'm saying? The Samuel Jackson. No, it wasn't him. His mama. It was his mama. His mama groomed him for the part early. You know what I'm saying? Samuel Jackson mama is the one. That's Big Mama running around. She keeping the whole field in order. Yeah, we can sleep soundly. For out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. He cannot get past her early slave molding process. He cannot get past her early slave molding process. He is a good tool, now ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. Boy, that's critical. He is a good tool. Her son, a tool, a threat to tie to the horse at any moment. That nigga woman gotta get that boy in line. Or they will. She gotta get him in line. Or they will tie him to that horse at any moment. Now, by the time a nigga boy reaches the age of 16, he is soundly broken in and ready for a long life of sound and efficient work and the reproduction of a unit of good labor force, continually through the breaking of uncivilized savage niggas by throwing the nigga female savage into a frozen psychological state of independence, by killing the protective male image, and by creating a submissive dependent mind of the nigga male slave. We have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. We have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its axis forever. The haughtiness of these people. Unless a phenomena occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female slaves. Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female slaves, we show that we mean by example, take case of two economic slave units and examine them close. The Negro marriage. We breed two nigga males with two nigga females. Then we take the nigga males away from them and keep them moving and working. Say one nigga female bears a nigga female and the other bears a nigga male. Both nigga females being without influence of the nigga male image, frozen with an independent psychological frozen with the independent psychology will raise their offspring into reverse positions. The one with the female offsprings will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We negotiate with her, through her, by her, negotiates her at will. The one with the nigga male offspring, she being frozen subconscious fear of his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. This is why we have so many athletes today, and most of those athletes until this recently have been blowing their money. They're not smart. Body over mind. Now, in a few years, when these two offsprings become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning. Warning, possible interloping negatives. Earlier, we talked about the non-economic good of the horse and the nigga in the wild or natural state. We talked out of the principle of breaking and tying them together for orderly production. Furthermore, we talked about paying particular attention to the female savage and her offspring for orderly future planning. Then more recently, we stated that by reversing the positions of the male and female savages, we created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever, unless a phenomenon occurred and reshifts position of the male and female savages. Now, the experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. For they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base. Now, that's why Kyrie's important when what he posted, because it says our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring, for they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base. If the history is correct and it shows us in Egypt doing great things and we start to know this, the mind will reshift itself. You can't tell me that I am a slave. I am just a slave. I may be currently a slave now, but I come from royalty. And they advised us that the best way to deal with the phenomenon is to shave off the brute mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena of illusions, so that each illusion will twirl in its own orbit, something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. This creation of multiplicity of phenomena of illusions entails the principle of crossbreeding the nigga and the horse, as we stated above. The purpose of which is to create a diversified division of labor, thereby creating different levels of labor and different values of illusion at each connecting level of labor, the results of which is the severance of the points of original beginnings of each sphere of illusion. Since we feel that the subject matter may get more complicated as we proceed in laying down our economic plan concerning the purpose, reason and effect of crossbreeding horses and niggas, we shall lay down the following definition terms for future generations. Orbiting cycles means a thing turning in a given path. Axis means upon which or around which a body turns. Phenomenon means something beyond ordinary conception and inspires awe and wonder. A nigga going through the legs for the first time dunking the balls. Oh my God, what was that? Phenomenon means something beyond ordinary conception and inspires awe and wonder. Multiplicity means a great number, means a globe. See, I like how they break down the definition so that you on page. Ain't no confusion of what the fuck we talking about. Ain't no confusion. And if there ever is any confusion on what's being said, go pick up a dictionary and those words will come to light immediately. Trust me. Now, crossbreeding a horse means taking a horse and breeding it with an ass, a donkey, and you get a dumb, backwards, ass, long-headed mule that is not reproductive nor productive by itself. Crossbreeding niggas means taking so many drops of good white blood and putting them into as many nigga women as possible. You gotta fuck these hoes. Varying the drops by the various tones that you want. You feel me? So you get the one from Africa that's super dark. As a white man, you have sex with her and lighten her up. You understand what I'm saying? Now you let that go for maybe a generation or so too. You know what I'm saying? To see how that's going. You know what I'm saying? If it starts getting darker again, drop a little more and that'll lighten it up some more. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? When that baby come out, I'm pretty sure a lot of them took their own technically daughter and dropped some more blood in it to lighten it even more. You know what I'm saying? Or use their son, which is technically brother and sister, to crossbreed it. I'm pretty sure. Now, crossbreeding a horse means taking a horse and breeding it with an ass. You get a dumb ass, productive, blah, blah, blah. Crossbreeding niggas means taking so many drops of good white blood, blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? We just hit all that. You know what I'm saying? Now, varying the drops and all that, and then letting them breed with each other until another circle of color appears as you desire. What this means is this. Put the niggas and the horse in a breeding pot. Mix some asses and some good white blood, and what do you get? You get a multiplicity of colors of ass backward, unusual niggas running, tied backward, ass long-headed mules. The one productive of itself, the other sterile. Like Drake. No shots, you know, nothing like that, but, you know, like Steph Curry and shit, you know, light-skinned niggas, Klay Thompson, you know what I'm saying, Devin Booker, you know what I'm saying, like that's what they're describing, that's what they're trying to describe, you know what I'm saying, the one constant, the other dying, we keep the nigga constant, for we may replace the mules for another two, both mule and nigga tied to each other, neither knowing where the other came from, and neither productive for itself, nor without each other. Language. Crossbreeding completed. For further severance from the original beginning, we must completely annihilate the mother language. We must completely annihilate the mother language. Completely annihilate the mother language of both the nigga and the mule. And institute a new language that involves the new life's work of both. You know, language is a peculiar institution. It leads to the heart of a people. The more a foreigner knows about the language of another country, the more he is able to move through all levels of that society. Therefore, if the foreigner is an enemy of the country, to the extent that he knows the body of the language, to that extent is the country vulnerable to attack or invasion of a foreign culture. For example, they're telling you the conquest of America all over the world, man. They're telling y'all the conquest. For example, if you take a slave, if you teach him all about your language, he will know all your secrets. and he is then no more a slave. For you can't fool him any longer. And being a fool is one of the basic ingredients. Being a fool is one of the basic ingredients. Being a fool is one of the basic ingredients of any incidents to the maintenance of the slavery system. For example, if you told a slave that he must perform in getting out our crops and he knows the language well, he would know that our crops didn't mean our crops, and the slavery system would break down. For he would relate on the basis of what our crops really meant. So you have to be careful in setting up the new language, for the slaves will soon be in your house, talking to you as man to man, an equal. And that is death to our economic system. Niggas sitting at the table, being owners in the NBA, talking to you man to man is death to the economic system. In addition, the definitions of words or terms are only a minute apart for the process. Values are created and transported by communication through the body of the language. A total society has many interconnected value systems. A total society has many interconnected value systems. All the values in the society have bridges of language to connect them from the orderly working in the society. There's a language in audio, music. There's a language in video, music. There's a language that pimps talk with. There's a language that businessmen talk with. There's a language that priests talk with, all within the English language. You see that? All of the values in the society have bridges of languages to connect them for the orderly working in the society. But for these language bridges, these many value systems will sharply clash and cause internal strife or civil war. Did we not have a civil war after the Willie Lynch letters? Yes, 1865. We're in 1712 right now. Let's stick with the times, although it is 2022. It's a new day. It's a new day. Yes. But for these language bridges, these many value systems would sharply clash and cause internal strife or civil war, the degree of the conflict being determined by the magnitude of the issues or relative opposing strength in whatever form. For example, if you put a slave in a hog pen and train him to live there and incorporate him to value it as a way of life completely, the biggest problem you would have out of him is that he would worry you about provisions to keep the hog pen clean. Your biggest problem is that a hog pen, which is normally to be dirty, he would want it clean. It's human nature to be clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Or the same hog pen and make a slip and incorporate something in his language, and whereby he comes to value a house more than he does the hog pen. A slip and incorporate something in his language where he becomes value a house more than he does the hog pen. You got a problem. He will soon be in your house. You see, Willie Lynch was very smart and went in depth with this conversation. You know, don't want to go too long with these videos. This is probably by far my longest video, and I really haven't even put my own words and thoughts into it. You understand what I'm saying? This is not the first. I've studied this. I was made to watch Roots as a child. My mother made me watch Roots as a child. Now, you know, I don't know. I don't know exactly what her thoughts was about me watching Roots and what the purpose of it was, but it lit a fire inside of me. Yeah. When I watched Roots, I knew for a fact my great-grandmother would tell me shit. My great Cage would tell me, rest in peace, great Cage. She would tell me, you did. They would have killed me back then. You feel me? That's what she used to tell me. My great-grandmama, Miss Cage. Born in the 1890s. Great Cage right there. That's my great-grandma. That's my great-grandma right there. She used to tell me all kinds of stories, born in the 1890s. First-hand stories. You understand what I'm saying? So like, this Willie Lynch, 300 years, 1712, 2012, Mayan calendar bullshit. 2022, we see how everything is going. We see how the male image is destroyed. Don't get mad at me for gladly joining the manosphere and pumping the atmosphere all the way past the moon and all the stars and quasars past Pluto, because players like us taking over. You understand now? I gotta keep it 100, man. I gotta give props to Kyrie. I gotta give props to Kanye. They volunteered to be the biggest, meanest, baddest niggas to get whooped in front of everybody. And none of them niggas said nothing. None of their peers on their value system and level. None of their peers on their clout level. You know what I'm saying? Of their admiration and adulation level. None of their peers stopped to help. Me on my level is nothing I could do. But most of the peers on my level cheered it. As they did my brother. Like the Levi's jeans. My brother. They suspended Kyrie, and now he apologized. 5 games, they suspended him. You don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? You divide 40-some million divided by 82 is how much you get paid per game. Times 5, that's a lot of motherfucking money. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Let's face facts. America wasn't completely conquered. A lot of it was purchased. It wasn't completely conquered. A lot of it was purchased. The same in Egypt. This is just reversal. See, that's why they say as in Rome, because Egypt went to Rome and established Rome and Greece and brought them back to Egypt, where they learned. That's how they know that the language will... You sleeping in the hog cave unless a motherfucker understands that we sick don't mean we sick. They gonna want your house. You understand that? Now I hope this sheds a light on a lot of things. I hope I can be a beacon of light. I hope you hit the like, share, subscribe. Woo! Cause this is Thoughts from a Boss, and this has been a great one at all costs, baby. I ain't got nothing to lose. I don't have millions of dollars. I got what I make and create. And I'm free, baby. I'm free, baby. You see, when go back and study, I ain't going on to step 2. You know what I'm saying? We're going to stay on step 1, putting that 10% away, because it takes a long time to master that. It took me almost 30 years, 35 years to master putting the 10% away. A lot of y'all will get it earlier because y'all smarter than me. I'm not that smart, but a lot of y'all, most of y'all are way smarter than me. So a lot of y'all can get it earlier. Some of y'all might be older and can catch it still now and still reel some of this shit in, and, you know what I'm saying, go swimming in the motherfucker. Because see, what I figured out in my life is I'm not just gonna take you to the lake. I know y'all gonna follow me to the lake. I can't make you drink. I can't. You know, but I know one thing, most of y'all ain't never been to the lake, and it's 2022. You know what's going on at the lake, man? Motherfuckers ain't drinking at the lake. Motherfuckers riding jet skis, yachts and shit. So we gonna hop on these jet skis. I know it's your first time getting on the jet skis, but guess what's gonna happen on your first time on those jet skis, baby? You probably gonna fall. Now, when you fall and you hit that water, pow, splash, you might get some in your mouth. See, you gotta trick a nigga to drinking these days, baby. Thoughts from the boss, man. Y'all go ahead, like, share, subscribe, man. I know I touched some motherfucking souls with this one. Willie Lynch and full of fat,